Hi, this is Gail, the Legacy Lady. This is going to be episode 7, and we are here on the Legacy Recorder Facebook page. Previously, I had been doing these on my personal profile, and I wanted to jump over onto my business page and keep them there. So, in the future, this is where all of the lives will be. And I will, of course, share things to my personal profile and to everywhere else that Legacy is hanging out. So I am still going to be doing dailies. I've actually really enjoyed doing them. When I got to Saturday this past week, I was actually kind of sad that I wasn't going to go live because I wanted to do these on business days. Someday maybe we'll do a Saturday hangout. So one of the things that I wanted to mention tonight is I am actually doing a free online live workshop. So we will actually work together to write the first page of your story or the first page of the story of someone you love. So it's free. You can bring whoever you want. We'll have it on an online platform that I love. And the link to go check that out and register is in the description. And it's too long for me to say. So I don't have a shorter version. So go check that out if you're interested. There's also a Facebook event attached to this page if you want more details on it in there. But really everything you need to know is on the registration page. And again, it is free. So that is, I know that's a wonderful, lovely draw. And what you'll get out of it is at the end, you will have outlined and or written the first page of your story. So that is the free workshop information. It will be on August 30th at noon Eastern. So you can figure out all of your time zone conversions. I wanted to be able to hit everyone that I follow and hang out with and everyone who's interacting with me that is over in the UK. And we actually have a few people who are even farther than that. So I wanted to try to include everyone. So doing Eastern time right smack in the middle of the day seemed to be a good option. If you have any questions on the free workshop, feel free to obviously post them as a comment. You can PM me, PM the page, and my inbox is always open. So on to the topic for today. Today's topic is how to work with your family to tell your family story. And I wanted to cover this tonight because with the lives I've been doing, it's been bringing up a lot of stuff for people where they've been reaching out to me and telling me about the projects they've been thinking about doing. They've been thinking about doing this with their families, but they're not sure how to start. And of course, that's my whole purpose, is to help you figure out how to start and how to get the project finished. Not only start the project, but get to completion. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, is getting to completion. So with how to work with your family to tell your family story, I like to start with 3 things. The first thing to start with is your starting point, identifying your goals. So identifying the goals of the project will help you figure out the pieces of how to get to the end. So I start every project with identifying what our goals are and what we want to accomplish. What will it look like? So as far as goals go, you can have physical, tangible goals, like we want to have a book. It will have 100 pages. We want to record 100 memories, and it will have pictures and that sort of thing. So those are, you can get as detailed as you want. What I like to suggest is that we have manageable goals and attainable ones, something that in the course of 6 to 8 weeks or 3 months, if you want to go that long. If you have less time than that, then your goals are going to look a little different than someone who has longer to write. So if you're looking at a short time window, recognize that your goal doesn't have to be a full-length book. And for me, that's what makes Legacy so attainable, is that it puts the emphasis on the experience of writing and the experience of writing together and experiencing the recollections together and talking about the memories together, rather than the finished product. And while the finished product is a beautiful and wonderful reminder, I think the beauty and the value is in how we get to that end product. So end products can be, I've seen end products be poems, they've been paintings, they've been full books, they've been short books, and they've just been a variety of things. Maybe you write a song about a memory. I mean, it really could be anything, whatever the person is interested in doing. And I like to give different ideas of what to do and then some parameters around that, because I know having too many options sometimes makes it harder for us to make decisions as to what we're going to actually do. So I stick to the written part and just know that you can always do anything above and beyond that. So goals. Those are different types of goals that you can set to get your starting point on your on the family story that you're going to tell. The next thing is deciding who will be involved. So it's really easy to say, oh, well, everyone's going to come. Everyone's going to work on this. It might not be for everyone. And everyone has different things that they get excited about. Someone might be a really great scribe and they really want to write down details of a conversation. Or you might have someone in your family that really enjoys the talking part and they really want to be the one to interview. Or you might have someone who's really interested in scrapbooking and they want to put the book together, or whatever the thing might be. You might have a photographer in your family and they want to take pictures of the storytelling or whatever pieces you're putting together. So just think about each person in your family. Hi, Julie. Think about each person in your family, what their strengths are, what they're excited about, and ask them how they would like to contribute. And yes, decisions are the worst. So ask your family members how they want to contribute and what they think will be most valuable for them. And partially because that will keep them interested, it will keep them engaged, and they will hang around for the long term of the project. It's really easy to get excited about a project in the beginning, and then halfway through, you're wishing you had never started, or you're bored, or you see other shiny things you want to go do. And it's very easy to run away. So in the beginning, identifying who's going to be involved and how each person can contribute, and allowing each of those people to be a part of the conversation as to what they contribute will greatly increase your ability to finish the project within a timely fashion and in a cohesive, constructive way. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to put them in the comments. So the other thing to think about is, so when you're assigning jobs, there's other jobs besides the fun creative stuff. So the other things to think about is who's going to be the main point person, who's going to be the one that says, okay, this is what we're doing this session, this is what we're doing the next session, and who in your family would be best suited for that. It might be you, it might be a sibling, it might be a parent, or it might be someone in the generation below you. They might be really good at keeping everyone on task. So just think about when the moral of the story with who will be involved is figuring out everyone's strengths, everyone's weaknesses, and putting together a project team that out of who's in your family that will make a successful project. And I have a lot of fun with that. I know not everyone will have fun with that. So always feel free to ask questions, and I can help you maybe figure those things out if you need it. Okay, so the next part of this is deciding what the story will be about. This one's a hard one because for me, it's hard to talk about in a general way because it's so customized to every family. It's so customized to every situation. So I'm going to give you 3 examples. And if I were to put trigger warnings in, this would be a place I would put trigger warnings in. So the first example is, let's say you're working with your mom. This also applies if you're working with your grandmother. As I say adult child, that's anyone who's past 18 and working with a parent or a grandparent. So what the story is about for you, you decide that with your storyteller. And the storyteller, I like to I recommend that the storyteller drives the conversation. So asking them what they want to talk about, asking them what they want the story to be about, and giving them the opportunity to really make those creative decisions, because it isn't about us as the people who are interviewing and helping record. It's about the storyteller and their experience. And if we are always honoring that person and coming from a place of service, then we will get whatever we'll get what we need out of the project, even if we don't feel like we're in control. So from a storyteller's perspective, they might not have the memories from childhood. They might not want to talk about things from their past. So providing them with options of what to talk about. And those are all things you can find on the Legacy website and on the Pinterest boards. There's a whole world of things you can talk about. So from deciding what the story is about, you can do a sweeping epic of their entire life. You can pick a moment in time in a memoir style and just have legacy sessions on that. And you really can pick one, you almost could pick one memory and do 6 sessions just on one topic. Food, for example. Everyone loves to talk about, well, a lot of people, I'm going to say everyone loves to talk about food in one way or another. You could spend 6 hours talking about food. Okay. So if you had 6 sessions, each one's an hour, you could literally spend the entire time talking about food and have a book about how your storyteller feels about food. So that's just an example of what the story could be about. You could pick the childhood. You could pick, if you wanted to go with more of a moment, maybe their wedding or their first date. And so from a interviewer and storyteller perspective, that works. If you are in a situation where you're working with someone who is in hospice or something along those lines where there isn't time to spend dancing around topics, as a family, I would recommend that you sit down and have a discussion, and if you can, include the storyteller or the person that you want to help have them write their story, and find out what is most important to them, find out the legacy they want to leave, and find out what they want people to remember about them. And that opens a different conversation than, well, we're going to talk about her childhood, or we're going to talk about his time in the army or his time in the military, which are easy go-tos, but it might not be what your storyteller wants to have you guys spend time on. So it's still that same idea of including the storyteller at every juncture, and who the story who is contributing the main part of the story, what they want to be talking about and what they want people to spend time remembering. And it might not be what you think it should be. So in a hospice situation, I would really honor that person's wishes on what they want to talk about. And then the other example I wanted to talk about was from a whole family standpoint. So if everyone's contributing something and it's not just the patriarch of the family or the matriarch of the family, I love doing memory collections for people. And so that idea is, it's a way to include everyone in the storytelling process. So let's say someone's 60th birthday is coming up, or 70th birthday is coming up, or 70th wedding, or not 70th wedding, 50th wedding anniversary. I can't talk tonight. Any of those larger moments, those big milestones, moments in people's lives, those are really great opportunities to have everyone contribute something that they remember about the couple, something they remember about the person who's turning 60, who's turning 70, and then compile that into a book or something, a slideshow. And I know this happens, a lot of people are doing this already, but we don't always ask more than like 1 or 2 questions, or we send one thing out, oh, well, just send us something that you they just say, oh, just send us something, and there's no guidance around it. There's no specific questions. And I found in my work that when we ask specific intentional questions, it completely changes the way people are able to answer. We take the guesswork out of how we want the conversation to go, how we want the story to go, and it really gives the person who's answering the questions an opportunity to think intentionally about what they're writing back to us, and they are able to frame the story and really write the story out without too much trouble. If you have any questions on how those work, I would love to chat with you, so feel free to PM me about those. Again, I call those memory collections. So those are my 3 examples. Again, just to really recap, it was an interviewer and the storyteller, and hospice situation, and then a full family affair as memory collections. So that is how I would start working with your family to tell your family story. And I highly encourage you to talk with someone else, go to someone in your family who you know might be interested in doing this with you, and find out what their interests are, what their thoughts were about it, and find out if it's something that you guys can do together for your family. And I would love to see the finished products. I'd love to hear your progress, and feel free to use any of the tools I have running around. There's lots of free stuff. There's paid stuff if you want it. And I want people to start writing. So just to recap for the whole evening, I talked about the starting points and goals of working with your family, deciding who will be involved and what their jobs will be, their assigned titles, and then deciding what the story will be about and how you'll go about writing it. So one last plug for my free online live writing workshop. Yes, that's long. It'll be on August 30th at noon Eastern, and it'll be online, so you don't have to leave your house. You can join by phone. If you're not comfortable doing video, you will be able to join by phone. I just encourage you to join, and it's completely free. Feel free to invite a friend, invite a loved one, invite mom, invite grandma, and we will walk through writing the first page of your story. If you have any questions about any of those things, feel free to put them in the comments. And thank you so much for watching this video. You can find out more information about the Legacy Recorder on www.thelegacyrecorder.com. And happy writing!